you go, Amanda. Just for your 66th birthday.
Oh, thanks.
What's wrong, Amanda? You don't like your gift?
I'm crying for many reasons, but the first tier is because I haven't received my Social Security paycheck yet. The second tier is because I was thinking about how the government borrows money in order to give benefits to the elderly. The third is because the government cannot collect enough money to pay the Social Security benefits. The fourth tier is because I thought about the younger generation and how they won't be able to have these benefits. The fifth is because the Social Security program cannot last very long at the way it's going.
Hey, turn those tears into tears.
Let me first start out with the first tier, which is the reasons for creating Social Security. FDR created the Social Security Act of 1936 during times of economic hardships. Elderly people who were too old to work could not support themselves financially. As a result, many of the elderly were very poor. To finance the program, both the employer and the employee had to pay a 3% payroll tax.
The second tier is the reforms that have been made over the history of the Social Security program. In the 1950s and 60s, the government raised taxes to 4%, reduced benefits to women over 62 by 25%. In 1965, Lyndon B. Johnson added Medicare and Medicaid through the Great Society program. Then, in 1983, Alan Greenspan helped to make reforms by raising income tax for people who make more money. The law was changed so that the payroll tax collected more than needed, creating a surplus in the Social Security Fund.
The third tier is the current situation. There are 48 million people, as of April 2009, who receive Social Security payments. Social Security's 2009 budget was $675 billion, which was 16.8% of the budget. Workers pay taxes, which are then put into the Social Security Fund. The fund holds U.S. Treasury bonds totaling $2,331,247,228,000 at the end of 2008. Current retirees are supported by current workers through the payroll tax, which is what makes Social Security a pay-go system. Because the fund is in the Treasury bonds, Congress is able to use that money to finance government programs. In essence, the Social Security Fund loans the government money, expecting to eventually be repaid plus interest. George Bush said, "Some in our country think that Social Security is a trust fund. In other words, there's a pile of money being accumulated. That's just simply not true. The money, payroll taxes going to the Social Security are spent. They're spent on benefits and they're spent on government programs. There is no trust. We're on the ultimate pay-as-you-go system. What goes in comes out. And so, starting in 2018, what's going in, what's coming out is greater than what's going in."
The fourth tier is the reasons for reform. Social Security needs to be reformed because if it is not reformed now, the younger generation will not have Social Security to live on. In the year 2018, it is predicted that Social Security will receive less than what it is paying out. And within the next 75 years, Social Security will lose about $25 trillion. Many are worried because, unlike private pension plans, the Social Security Fund does not hold any marketable assets to secure workers' paid-in contributions. They are claims on the Treasury that, when redeemed, will have to be financed by raising taxes, borrowing from the public, or reducing benefits or other expenditures. The existence of large trust fund balances, therefore, does not by itself have any impact on the government's ability to pay benefits. Some argue that increased worker productivity has allowed the system to continue to run smoothly, and that it will bear many new retirees. Even when the decreased worker-to-retiree ratio, Social Security has a surplus.
The fifth tier is solutions. If we keep the payroll tax rate exactly the same, but applied it to all earnings and not just the first $97,000 Obama proposed, we could eliminate the entire Social Security shortfall. It would raise over $1 trillion by taxing everyone, including those with an income of more than $97,000, at a 12.4% tax. Under the current payroll tax brackets, people making more money pay less of a percentage to Social Security and Medicare, while people making less money pay more of a percentage to Social Security and Medicare. Another solution proposed by George Bush was another alternative, or personal accounts. Under this proposed program, you could set aside some of your payroll tax to be invested in the stock and bond markets. Workers would pay into the Social Security Fund and the stock and bond market. The federal government would pay into the Social Security Fund, and the Social Security Fund would make payments to retirees.
Thanks, I learned so much. You just turned my 5 tears into a smile. Just a little bit.